Okay, so this is the IPR presentation for the MA206Y project by Quiros Alejandro. It's the background and objectives. So in the first study, a conclusion was drawn that sports participation positively relates to academic achievement, but the relationship diverges when students are compared on grounds of sex and parental education. So it is believed that academic achievement can be influenced by education services and sex. And the second article concludes that sports participation of 4 times or more a week is beneficial to education. So I'm going to take a few things away from these 3 articles. So basically, individuals who are more active in athletic activities will have a better academic performance. Men and women will vary on their educational success more because of their sex and not their physical performance. And individuals who are too busy with athletic activity will have a lower GPA because of the extra time commitment. So our research question is to see if there is a direct correlation or none between a cadet's GPA and their physical score. And our explanatory variable was gender, and the response variables were the CAPS and the CPPS, which is the academic score and the physical score. And then we have data description. So this is the data came from it's a data set of physical and academic GPAs, which was provided by Dr. Thomas, and we explored the data by evaluating summary statistics of the data by gender. And we also plotted graphs of the CAPS versus CPPS and gender. So this is just some of the information. So this is what we did. First, we developed the X number of linear regression models with response variables and explanatory variables. Then we looked at a ggline plot, and then we made the scatter plots. So here's the cadet's academic score based on his or her gender. So from this scatter plot of the explanatory variable, we can see that higher academic scores lead to better physical scores, and males score better than females. But there's not too much of a correlation between gender. So for the linear regression models, Dr. Thomas and I used Excel to create like a scatter plot, but we do know, 2 linear regression models were developed to test which explanatory variable improved the value for R squared, and to determine which explanatory variables were significant. And one model included interaction terms between gender and CPPS and CAPS, and all statistical analysis was performed in the statistical software package R. And the validity conditions of whether the residuals were normally distributed were checked using a histogram, and the trend was visually observed by graphing the residuals against the average value of observed and predicted. The data was independent by the nature of data collection. Conclusions. So our main takeaway was that there was no explanations on the variance of CPPS and CAPS, and the study had both quantitative and categorical units. However, neither gender nor current GPA in a subject explained the score of the other GPA subject. The strength of our study was definitely the accurate data that Dr. Thomas provided us with. It had very little outliers and allowed us to properly graph and display our data. Our limitation of our study is that the data does not relate to the public, so the data is not necessarily applicable to the public. And what would someone do for future work? They should try to see if this is a trend in other schools or in the public, or if there's a correlation between the both and somewhere other than West Point.